Okay, we're just going to stick with this picture when we start talking about our immune response. So our immune response takes anywhere from 3 to 14 days in most cases. And what we're going to start off with is a macrophage. So we can start off with a macrophage, or we can start off with a dendritic cell. So what's going to happen here is these guys are going to engulf the antigen and invader. They're going to display that antigen just like what I talked about. It's going to attach it to their cell surface, and then they're going to move to a lymph node. And there they're going to encounter other macrophages and lymphocytes, all right? So what kicks our immune response off are macrophages, all right? So now let's take a look at T cells. So T cells, or T lymphocytes, this is where we do our cellular immunity. And so T cells are going to make cytokines. So let's just look at some properties of cytokines. Cytokines do several things. They're going to stimulate bone marrow to make more lymphocytes. They're going to inhibit viral replication and tumor growth. They're going to stimulate macrophages to engulf viruses. They're going to stimulate B cells to produce antibodies. And these are also toxins that kill foreign cells. So they have a lot of properties. It just, All right, so we look at types of T cells. There are 4 types of T cells. One that you see here is a helper T cell. So there's a helper T cell. These are activated by contact with that foreign antigen. As you can see, it's coming up to that macrophage there. They're going to attract other white blood cells to an area. They're going to stimulate B cells, B lymphocytes, and also another kind of T lymphocyte called a cytotoxic T cell. Next is delayed hypersensitivity T cells. These are going to release cytokines that promote phagocytosis and inflammation, especially in allergic reactions. Next are cytotoxic T cells. So if we go to this picture here, showing a cytotoxic T cell, these are going to bind to the non-self antigen. And what they're going to do is they're going to release perforins. And so this is going to cut a pore-like opening in the cell. So as you can see here, they have attached onto the cell. They release those porphyrins, which poke a hole in the cell, so the cytoplasm leaks out, and this kills the cell. So they're going to kill bacterial cells, fungal cells, foreign cells, as well as tumor cells, and also virus-infected cells. Next are memory T cells. So we can see over here memory T cells. These guys do not respond to the initial exposure, but they're going to provide a no-delay response to future exposures. All right? So what happens here is that when let's move to this picture here. So when a helper T cell encounters a macrophage presenting an antigen on it, that helper T cell is going to release cytokines that are going to cause cytotoxic T cells to divide into cytotoxic T cells that are specific to that antigen and memory cells. So this guy here, the cytotoxic T cell, gets activated by a helper T cell to do this. All right? So the other thing that helper T cell do is they work with our B lymphocytes. So with B lymphocytes, we're talking about humoral immunity. So at a signal from our helper T cells, these B cells are going to differentiate into plasma cells, which are shown here. Now those plasma cells are the cells that actually release the antibodies. And they also are going to produce, divide into memory cells. And so memory cells, just like we talked about with the memory T cells, these are going to attack subsequent exposures. And so our secondary response is much stronger than our primary response. Okay? So this is showing primary response. There's a B cell. We only make a few memory cells and a few plasma cells there. These are going to release the antibodies. All right? And so there's our primary response. So it takes about 2 weeks to get over that. All right? So if you get that same pathogen again, right, you're going to make more memory cells, but you make a lot more plasma cells. So your secondary response is a much stronger response, and you're going to have a shorter response time to getting over that pathogen. As you can see, a couple hours to a few days. Here's like, if you get the flu, you feel horrible for several days, you get over it, Here, if you encounter that same flu a little bit later, maybe one day you feel a little drained, you take a nap, and you feel better again. That could have been an exposure to that, to a pathogen there.